The tender pineapple cake begins with simple steps. We crack 5 fresh eggs into a glass bowl and add a pinch of salt. The foundation for our future dessert is ready. We take a whisk and start mixing carefully. A couple of gentle movements, and the yolks and whites transform into a uniform golden mass, ready to accept the remaining ingredients. Vanilla sugar will give the cake that special homemade aroma. Now we carefully whisk in all the ingredients with our whisk. It's important not to rush. Each movement makes the mixture more uniform and airy. See how the mass gradually lightens and becomes silky? We add the sugar gradually, turn on the mixer, and literally before our eyes, the mixture transforms. It becomes noticeably fluffier, lighter, acquiring a creamy texture. We beat until uniform so that every granule dissolves. We add the melted butter in a thin stream. This way it distributes better in the mass. Turn on the mixer and continue beating. Watch how the butter instantly combines with the egg base, making it even more silky and tender. Just a minute of work, and we get a perfectly uniform, glossy mass. Time to add the yogurt. It will make our cake especially tender. We add it gradually, without rushing. Now we mix well with the whisk. Look how the mass becomes thick and acquires a creamy shade. The yogurt combines beautifully with the egg base. We add the first half of the flour, about 170 grams. We sift it through a sieve so the batter becomes especially tender and airy. Now the baking powder, 1 tablespoon right into the sieve. We sift once more, and the dry ingredients distribute evenly in the mass. With careful whisk movements, we combine all components. The batter becomes thick and uniform, acquiring a beautiful creamy texture. We sift the remaining flour through a sieve. This way, it distributes evenly and gives the batter special lightness. Now, the most crucial moment. We thoroughly mix the thick mass with the whisk, trying to reach every corner of the bowl. The batter turns out quite dense, but this is correct. Exactly this consistency will give our cake a tender but form-holding structure. We work with confident whisk movements until not even the slightest flour lump remains. The finished batter should be absolutely uniform, smooth, and have a pleasant creamy color from the yogurt and butter. Walnuts require special attention. We pour them onto a heated pan and toast for just a couple minutes, constantly stirring. Do you hear that light crackling? The nuts release their aroma and acquire a golden shade. Exactly this kind of toasting will give the cake nutty flavor and crunchy texture. Now, the nuts need to be turned into small pieces. We pour them onto a board and chop them with a knife, not into powder, but leaving small fragments that will create a pleasant texture in each piece of cake. Each knife stroke fills the kitchen with nutty aroma. When the nuts have reached the right size, we carefully scrape them from the board right into the bowl with batter. These golden pieces will become the highlight of our cake. We thoroughly mix the nuts with the batter using the whisk, distributing each piece evenly. It's important to work carefully to preserve the airiness of the mass. The nuts should become part of the batter without disrupting its tender structure. Now let's work with the pineapple. We'll turn 3 rings of canned pineapple into juicy cubes for the batter. We start with the first ring, cutting it into small pieces. Each knife movement should be confident to get even cubes. We continue working with the second ring. Precision is important here. The pieces should be roughly the same size. Then they'll distribute evenly in the batter, and each piece of cake will have juicy pineapple filling. We move to the third ring, finishing the fruit preparation. We finished cutting the last cubes, and now we have aromatic pineapple addition ready, which will fill our cake with tropical notes and pleasant tartness. The batter is ready for the final touch. We add the aromatic pineapple pieces right into the bowl. Now, the most important thing. Carefully distribute the fruit throughout the mass. We mix gently so each piece finds its place in the tender batter while maintaining its shape and juiciness. The pan is ready, 22 centimeters, just right for our cake. We pour the aromatic batter in a careful stream, trying to distribute the mass evenly across the entire bottom. A silicone spatula will help smooth the surface, movements from center to edges, without excessive pressure. The batter spreads obediently, promising even baking. The first pineapple ring goes right in the center of the pan. Now let's work with the remaining rings. We need to turn them into neat segments for beautiful decoration of the entire surface. With a sharp knife, we cut each ring into small wedges. We do this calmly, without rushing, so the pieces turn out roughly the same size. This cutting allows us to distribute the juicy fragments evenly throughout the cake. We cut the second ring exactly the same way, maintaining the same wedge shape. We return the pan to the work surface and begin the final decoration. We carefully arrange the aromatic pineapple segments across the entire batter surface, creating a beautiful pattern. We slightly press each piece into the batter. This way the fruit will be securely anchored and create an elegant design that will become the true decoration of our cake. While the cake reaches readiness, let's work on the final touch. We cut the lemon in half. Now we squeeze the juice. It's best to use a juicer to get the maximum aromatic liquid. We definitely strain through a sieve. This will rid the glaze of pulp and seeds, making it perfectly smooth. We add confectioner sugar. We mix thoroughly until completely dissolved. Look how the sugar literally melts in the tart juice, turning into shiny glaze. This is exactly what will give the cake that glossy shine and refreshing note that so beautifully complements the pineapple sweetness and biscuit tenderness. The cake is ready, and it's time to release it. We unfasten the pan ring. Movements should be smooth and confident so as not to damage the tender biscuit structure. Now, the most delicate part. We separate the parchment paper from the sides. We do this slowly and carefully, supporting the cake. See how perfectly even the sides turned out? This is thanks to the properly prepared pan. The final stage, coating with glaze. We take a silicone brush and start carefully brushing the surface of the still warm cake with lemon glaze. We continue generously applying the sweet mixture from the bowl, not sparing any. The glaze should soak the top and create an appetizing glossy layer. Now we move to the aromatic syrup. With the same brush, we distribute it across the entire cake surface, allowing the sweet drops to slowly absorb into the tender crumb. We pour the remaining syrup from the glass bowl right into the center, and with final brush strokes, evenly distribute it across the entire cake, creating perfect coverage. Before us is the result of our efforts, a cake with glossy lemon glaze and golden crust. The pineapple rings on the surface have become even brighter, and the aroma is simply impossible to convey in words. The cake has cooled, and the most pleasant part, we can enjoy the result. We cut carefully with a sharp knife into portion pieces. See what perfect shape we got? We gently lift the first piece with a spatula, lightly supporting with our hand. The batter is so tender, it literally melts. Look at this airy texture with inclusions of juicy pineapple and crunchy nuts. Each layer is visible, and the crumb turned out amazingly fluffy. We transfer to a beautiful plate. Now, our pineapple cake is ready to win hearts and taste buds. We break apart the cake with a fork. Look at this most tender, airy crumb with inclusions of juicy pineapple and crunchy nuts. Each piece literally melts on the tongue, and the fruit sweetness is beautifully offset by the light tartness of the lemon glaze. Perfect balance of textures and flavors, exactly what makes this dessert truly special.